Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video we are just going to be debriefing my sip down progress from October through December of 2019 and talking about some goals and some upcoming stuff related to that for 2020. This is, I have to admit, a second take. So I fully filmed another video, but it was 24 minutes. So in the event that I post this one instead, I just want you to know that I really made sacrifices to not ramble. So let's get started. Per usual, the tea is in the tea press kit box from winter 2018. I'm going to do the 10s first, and then we'll sort through the bags. So first up, I got this box of Rishi matcha. I like this matcha and I get it regularly. It's not really like, I wasn't trying to sip this down. It just happened to be a tea empty. I try to get this for like $6 or $7 because it's normally 10 or more. I usually get it from Whole Foods. No, I don't. I usually get it from World Market or a grocery store that's not Whole Foods because it's sometimes on sale. Anyways, I like this because if you like Starbucks matcha and that's like the only matcha you can tolerate because it's less grassy, this one's for you. Okay, next is this 10 of Nina's Paris Thé des Agnès. It's a black tea with strawberry flavoring. Towards the end, I started to like it, but it felt like it went on forever. Sorry. There was 3.5 ounces in here. I think I got it from like a TJ Maxx company or... What is the deal? Am I about to develop the hiccups? Or Marshall's. But yeah, I've had this for like 2 or 3 years. Glad it's gone. Super cute 10, so I'll repurpose it. Repurpose. What is the deal? Oh my gosh. Repurpose it. The next thing is just this bronze macaron 10 from Teavana. It used to house caramel truffle, which was a blend tea. There was maybe about 2 ounces in it max. It was a heavier tea. It was also a really sweet tea, and I'm not really sure what was in it, but you didn't need any sweetener, and like the milk didn't even have to be sweet to make a latte with it. It was that sweet. So I like that tea, but Teavana's gone. I know I'm not going to get any more, and for such a small amount, like I think this last year there was only maybe 2 servings worth for lattes. So it was just hard to have this physical object in place for such a small amount of tea. So I'm just glad that that has figured itself out. I got this cute little tin of Citizen Tea Goji Green in my Sips By box for like October or November. I kid you not though, guys, it only had about a perfect spoon and a quarter. Like, yeah. I made 1 serving of cold steep Goji Green. It was decent. But... super cute 10, definitely repurposing. And then lastly, I think this is like my most proud sit down of the year. And since 2019 ended a decade, I think this is it. So guys, this is a tri-stack or 3-stack of 10s from Teavana. It's probably like the second to last design of this that they released before they closed. I had the great idea to what is my deal? To fill these with wellness teas. So I have the Rev Up from them, the Purify, and then the Recover. And it was kind of like, get ready, get clean, and then get well. And it made a lot of sense, but I didn't actually really like the teas, guys. I've had this for 2 to 3 years. This has been, like, this was a tea that I took to work because I just cannot stand to have its presence at my house, knowing I was not going to finish it. So, it took me 2 to 3 years, 3 different places of employment. I had this when I was a teacher and I brought it to school. I had this when I was a prevention specialist and I brought it to work then, and I have it now that I work at the health department. But it's gone, so bye. If you have questions on those individual teas, let me know. They weren't bad towards the end, but like I definitely had to make a purpose for them, but I'm just too much space, and it's just like such a wacky pattern. Okay, so that's all the 10s that I have, and now we can do bags. So since this is the second take, I had already talked about them and put them back in the box, so bear with me while I pull them back out. So 2 samples of David's tea. This one is Forever Nuts. I could smell it, but I think I made a note to myself when it came without a label. It came like this. I just dumped this in a tin because to me, I can't really make an efficient cup of Forever Nuts with the sample size. It just is a heavier tea, and I feel like it's more nuanced when you can spare a little bit more tea. And then I just think I drank this hot one day while I was at a conference. Next up is a couple of samples from Harney & Sons. I drank 2 of these black cinnamon spices, 1 Paris at a conference. I drank 1 Tazo Earl Grey at a conference. And then before I talk about, so just like a little blurb about conferences. So if you have like a stash of bag teas or just like those David's tea sample or sample size teas, I packed them in this cute little kind of like a makeup bag, and I took it knowing that I would like have access to hot water. And so I just was like, let me try to get rid of as many tea bags as I can. And I think I did pretty good. So that's just like a heads up. Also at a conference, and really surprisingly delicious, was this Bird and Blend sample of peach and orange. Guys, I don't like peach. I don't like peach in teas. It just like, it's a thing, I get it, and like I could tolerate it, but I don't go for peach flavors. But that was really good, and I had it hot. So what does that say? I know. I also, what does it say? That I just had this one singular bag of maple apple cider from October to December. While it was still fall, before the holidays set in, I just had the one bag. So this is also why it's important for me to like reflect with you guys and myself, and sort of like debrief why I'm in a sit down, because when you're so focused on getting rid of teas that you don't like, it's so long that you like between, it's such a long time. Lord, how to say words. When you are doing a sit down, the time that you spend drinking the teas that you like is few and far between. So that was a fall favorite of mine, that maple apple cider, and I only had one bag, like from October to now. So what does that say about what I'm doing here and trying to finish all these other teas? Okay, so I also just had a bag of this hibiscus herbal from Wegmans tea. This black tea that I got, again, from like TJ Maxx or something a couple of years ago. It's black tea and strawberry rhubarb flavors. The brand is Thé Noir, and it's technically called Frais de Bois Rhubarb. Turmeric ginger from Buddha Teas. And then, okay, so, and then lastly, from things of this category, I finished this smallish sample size of Earl Grey from Storehouse Tea. That's a manufacturer in Cleveland. They don't technically have a storefront, but they do have like hours where the place where they manufacture their tea is open if you want to buy it. Trying to shave down time. Here we go. I had like such a moment trying to describe that sit down tea. Like, man, that was like so hard. Words. This next section of tea are teas that I finished from my Sips by box. The first one is this Nepali breakfast from Nepal Tea. This one was actually really good, and I am going to look for this and buy some more. So it's just black tea and spices. I don't know the spices, but I'll look it up. It just kind of tastes like a really good chai. So I appreciate that. This Churchill's peppermint black tea. I don't really have much use for peppermint outside of holiday context. And sometimes I like it in herbal teas that are supposed to be calming, but mostly holiday. So I mix this with the vanilla black tea once, and then I mix it with a vanilla and a chocolate tea to make, you know, kind of like a Candy Cane Crush kind of thing, even though I have some Candy Cane Crush. This almond cookie from Cookie Tea is basically Forever Nuts by David's Tea. Equally good, maybe a little bit lighter tasting. This Organic Beauty Me tea. Every time I have like a detox or like a tea meant to make you beautiful, I'm always like, oh my god, my skin's glowing. It's just thanking me so much for taking care of it. Ugh. But really, it's like 2 cups of tea. What am I really doing? Organic Kensington Earl Grey. This was a decent Earl Grey. I'm not going to rebuy it. It had the addition of grapefruit in it. Just not my cup. And then I had 2 samples of Motion matcha. That was pomegranate flavored, unsweetened. I tried to make this at a conference, make one of them, and man, it was just like bitter. So I definitely would have to try a little bit harder at home. I think this would be really good with lemonade or like agave, or in a smoothie with actual pomegranates or pomegranate arrows. Okay, not rambling. Oh my god, guys, but okay, quick story. So many months ago, I got my first and only order from Citizen Tea, and I got a few flavors that I thought were like going to be so amazing, but it turns out everything was kind of just one off. For instance, this creamy nut oolong. You see this huge bag? You see this huge bag? It was probably about this full, and it was like a fluffier tea. This took me so long to finish. I prepared this so many ways. Hot with milk, hot latte, cold steeped in milk, served cold or then warmed back up. Because I got so bored. Because right off the bat, I was just not interested. So after the first cup, I realized it was like having a generic cereal, but like wet. And I know cereal is supposed to be eaten with milk, but just imagine wet cereal. That was this tea. And I mean, like, maybe some people like it. I'm really not trying to diss, but I just cannot believe I had so much of that tea. And so I finally drank it. The s'mores tea, I appreciated Citizen Teas for being honest about all the ingredients. There was definitely a lot going on. But I feel like what made this tea hardest to drink was that there was a black tea, an oolong tea, and a white tea all in here. And so ultimately I had to decide, and that was probably towards the end, what the best brewing method was. And I think it was like 185 degrees tops, obviously Fahrenheit, with milk and like some sweetener. And I could only brew it for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe. So just a little just didn't make it easy to enjoy. Next up is some stuff I got from Fava Tea, the spice pear. I don't know if you guys saw my haul on that, but I was so excited about this spice pear because when you smell it, there's like little hints that just smell exactly like a super ripe pear. But the more I smelled it, the more I realized that there was also a lot of licorice in there, and I don't like licorice. So I brewed it hot and then threw it over some ice, and I just couldn't get past licorice, like psychologically in my brain. But I cold steeped it after that, and it was actually really good. High caffeine. I think it's because I steeped it for too long. I had this black tea, and it was my fault because it was like 6 o'clock, but it was so refreshing. 6 p.m. I have the cold steeped version of this tea, spice pear, and I did not go to sleep that night. That's it. That's it. Luckily it was a Friday, or a Saturday, but like, what? And then the reindeer drool, I was kind of excited about. It smelled kind of fruity, and you know, there was like cinnamon and some fun things in there. Ultimately, it was a little bit flat and not that much holiday, so I'm not going to rebuy it next year. But it was fun to try, and I just had this one iced. Next, I have pixie dust tea from a tea company called Jolie Tea. This one's just like a fun, fruity one with chamomile. So it's chamomile, a little bit of lavender, hibiscus, lemon peel, rose petals, rose hips, apple pieces, sweet orange, black currants, and vanilla essence. It all works though. And basically though, I just dumped this into a tin I already had. I bought this when I was last in Boston. At this point, I don't remember when that was. July, maybe, and I just put it in the tin. This is a bag of, or was a bag of honeydew matcha from David's Tea. Pretty sure I just poured this into the tin. At this point, I'm hoarding like 8 ounces of matcha in just a regular size David's Tea tin. Because matcha fits like higher quantities in those little tins. Because honeydew matcha is discontinued now, so I didn't drink this. I just put it in a tin. I finally finished this white Ayurvedic chai from Teavana. This was a gift, probably like Christmas 2017. Yeah, because then early in the year 2018, Teavana closed. So my boyfriend bought me this. It was probably only like 2 ounces. And while it was a decent chai, I think there was like bits of coconut and cinnamon. I just couldn't get into it fast enough. So I've had it all this time. I finally finished it. And it was really on my list because of the coconut, because you guys know coconut, hit or miss hit or miss for freshness and just like surviving and not becoming spoiled. Okay, I'm just like so tired. Next, I finished this bag of Tea Forte Amber Sugar. I think this is super comparable to Teavana, more so than the Fava tea that I get now, Fava Rock Sugar that I get now. But I just like don't see myself placing many or frequent Tea Forte orders just for sugar. I have a bunch of their matchas and I haven't drank them as fast as I did the first time. They're really good, but I'm not going to make an order anytime soon, but I'm out of sugar. So I just go to Fava because it's local and I don't have to buy anything else, which, you know, I kind of need help with. And then this next bit is David's Tea bags, and I'll explain a little bit. So this is Mother's Little Helper I got from my Sips By box. It was the first time I had that tea. It was interesting, it was calming, but I think the peppermint in here threw me off. So I'm not gonna buy any more. Banana nut bread, I actually just had a small bag of this, finished it. I think these bags you get maybe 3 lattes out of this, 2 for sure. And then I have another like medium-sized 10 downstairs in my tea collection. I just dumped this into a tin sweet potato pie, 2 bags of chocolate macaron, finally refilled the tin. Vanilla cappuccino. Apparently there's 4 bags of this, but I only have like maybe a full tin. So I think I did drink this bag of vanilla cappuccino. And then dumped all the rest. There's another bag behind here, but it's stuck because I used the label to put it on the tin. And then I emptied this bag of cardamom French toast into a tin. And then s'mores chai. This one came in my Sips By box probably for like October, maybe September. And I think I had a serving of s'mores chai, like a latte out of this. And I just pour the rest in the correlating tin that I already have. Just to, you know, save space. Like, why? So, that's all I have. But I do have some stuff I want to put on you guys' brains. So, I'm going to keep up on the, like, quarterly-ish sip down / tea empties updates. And I think this year I'm going to do a little bit of a series about, like, strategies for staying on a sip down. I think I'm gonna like fish for feedback and opinions and things from the sip down group on Facebook and then you guys, because I feel like I'm in a perpetual state of sip downness. And I used to give away a lot of tea. I think like 2017, early 2018, I had a lot of Teavana tea that I was like selling. People were doing giveaways on the David's Tea fan group, so that was like a culture. And I feel like I actually got rid of larger quantities of tea by just like offering them to people. And I had like a serious presence on Mercari. And then I stopped buying larger quantities of teas, but even the ones that I still had left, I didn't give those away because I feel like it was like a punishment, like to myself. It's like, okay, so you bought 4 ounces of this tea without knowing how it tastes and you can't cop out and just give it away, like finish it. And it's really morbid, but like it works because I haven't quickly bought any large quantities of tea. I think I'm just glad like I bought this small amount of this tea because that would have been pestering. But like any tea that is meant to be drank hot, I only get a little bit. My Sips By box is becoming a little bit overwhelming because it just brings more stuff every month that I'm not necessarily drinking fast because a lot of them are highly caffeinated. So I don't know if I'll cancel that or change my preferences so that it's all herbal so I can drink it all types of the day or times of the day. But see, like a lot of things, like I feel like I have a lot of tabs open in my brain about tea. But I made this video so that it would be shorter than the last. As of now, it's 5 minutes shorter. And I just want to leave you guys with, what are your goals for this year? Just in terms of sip down and like drinking tea and buying tea. What do you want to see from me? Specifically to this, specifically to tea empties, to sip downs, and do you have any feedback or suggestions? Okay, well, bye. Thank you.